War in the Middle East and rising oil prices have many investors concerned that a stock market crash is imminent. Certainly last week we saw some weakness that was a little bit out of the ordinary, and I'll look at the charts this week and figure out whether that's likely to predict further weakness in the market. Oil prices have risen sharply, not just in the past week, but really over the past couple of months. So the question is that a catalyst for a stock market crash? And what are the signs of an imminent crash? How do we protect our portfolios in this environment? Well, let's begin with a quick look at the chart of the oil price. And you can see this is a 3-year weekly chart. And we had pretty strong resistance here over the last 3 years, and the market moving up in anticipation of a war with Iran, as you saw the market move up over a 6 or 8 week period coming into this resistance. And I sort of expected that we would get stuck there, but it wasn't just that war broke out. It's really the impact on supply as oil moving through the Strait of Hormuz is not making its way through. And that was a surprise that I think many investors coming into this attack on Iran weren't really expecting. And so you can see the huge upside move there in oil prices. And that is certainly outsized and not expected. And that can have an impact on inflation as it trickles down through many different industries. And then the concern is that interest rates have to stay elevated, can't be lowered further. So there's a lot of factors that come into the market in terms of rising oil prices. Now, this chart that I'm showing here is the correlation of oil prices with the S&P 500. And this goes back to 2006 when we had the last crash, going into 2008, of course, when the financial crisis unfolded in the US and early in 2008. What I want you to notice is that when oil prices were moving down, that was generally good for the stock market. Prices were rising. And then oil prices started to rise, and you can see that the stock market got kind of choppy and then rolled over and went lower. Now, is this because of rising oil prices? Perhaps partly, but the bigger factor back in 2008 was the financial crisis, as heavily leveraged investors and real estate markets really suffered as we got that collapse in the market. So I don't think that this is a strong indication that just because oil prices go up, the stock market will crash. What I think is a more reliable indicator is just looking at the chart of the S&P 500 itself, because when there's a crash, we typically, almost always, see a simple break of a long-term upward trend. And so looking back to when the COVID crash happened, we had a break of upward trend. This more recent one was when interest rates started to rise, and that caused a 8-week market crash. Now, along the way, you'll get little blips downward. You can see a number of them there in an upward trend. And in this more recent trend, we've had a few little blips. But this one that we're seeing right now is a little more serious, because we've been going sideways for 3 months, and we're now starting to break down through that floor. So I do think that there is added risk in the market right now. I'm not going to say it's a strong signal for a crash, simply because we haven't really built a falling top yet in the market, but we are breaking down from a trading range, and I think that could snowball, at least in the short term, to more weakness. You can see the Stockscores have dipped below 60. Through the upward trend, they've been always above 60. But then again here, when we had that pullback, see how it dipped below 60 there and was below 60 for a couple of months. And of course, you can go to my website, stockscores.com, and get the stock scores and anything, any stock that or ETF that trades. The general rule is a stock is bullish if its sentiment stock score, the green line, is above 60. So again, when the market was really rallying here, you can see the sentiment stock score was above 60 for that period, and then it started to dip below, and that sort of telegraphed this weakness in the market. So that's something to keep note of. And again, we see that dipping below right now. So how do you protect yourself? Well, there are short-term trading vehicles, and I want to emphasize these are short-term trading vehicles because they are leveraged, and so they have to be rebalanced every day, and therefore there is decay in their value over time. And so you never want to hold things like the UVXY, which is a volatility-related ETF. It is leveraged because it will decay in value over time. And the next one that I'm going to show you does the same. However, in the short term, These things can be really big gainers if the market sells off. And this isn't the only one. I'm going to show you a couple. But this is certainly one of the more popular vehicles that investors use to protect themselves against weakness. Now, I don't like to chase strength. And we see here a little bit of strength in the UVXY the last couple of days. This is a 30-day, 60-minute chart. So these are, each bar here represents an hour. So we had a breakout on Tuesday, a pullback. I like buying breaks of pullback. So that to me was a good signal to buy. Right now we're running away again. So wait for a little pullback. And then if it breaks the pullback, that might be a signal to trade in and out of UVXY. Now another one that is popular is TZA. This is a leveraged inverse ETF on the small cap market. And so it goes up 3 times as fast as the Russell 2000 goes down. So if the small cap index, the Russell 2000 is going down, this will go up. And we saw the Russell small cap index go down last week, and I'll show you a chart of that in just a moment. This is a way to make money from that weakness, TZA. But again, remember that these are leveraged ETFs, and therefore you don't want to be too aggressive with them. Now let's get into our normal market analysis. We've jumped back to the Stockscores website. Just want to let you know I've got some free classes coming up in April. So if those of you want to learn more about how I approach the market, you can register for those on the homepage of Stockscores. And of course, I have my weekly email newsletter that goes out. I pick stocks, give a little bit of education on how to trade and invest in the stock market. These are all free services that we offer. But what I want to start with tonight or today is a look at the overall market. So we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 first. This is the daily chart. And you can see, again, we've been sideways for a few months and starting to break down, starting to build little falling tops on the daily, not so much on the weekly yet, but closed at a new low going back a couple of months. So that's a little bit of a concern. And again, you can see the stock scores starting to fall off. So I do think caution is warranted. If we look at the 3-month chart, we see that I want to look at the 1-month chart. You can see that we're generally grinding slowly lower, not a sharp sell-off, but this is often the way upward trends and downward trends begin, as they start slow and then end quickly and sharply. So if we start to break down through this floor that we established last week, if we start to break down through that, you probably want to get defensive for US stocks, large cap stocks. Looking at the NASDAQ 100, QQQ, similar situation. You're starting to test some support from falling tops. Falling tops are a sign of pessimism, and that's why our stock scores have been falling over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Not a strong signal to panic by any means, but a signal to definitely be more cautious. Russell 2000 small cap index had been looking pretty good, but the upward trend was broken this week, building falling tops, and now starting to roll over and head lower. So be defensive with the small cap stocks as well. And we'll look at another important chart for the small caps in just a moment. Let's take a look at the Canadian market as well. This is the TSX 60, a commodity heavy market. And you can see this week we got some weakness. Now here we are still in the upward trend, unlike the US markets. But if we look at that 1-month short-term chart, you see that we are starting to break that upward trend and roll over. I wouldn't say super negative yet. You can see the sentiment stock score is still above 60. So we're not terrible on the Canadian market, as weak as the US market is. Moving along, let's take a look at gold. You would think that in times of war, people would panic and run to gold, but the problem is gold has gone up so much, and we have now built a falling top, and we're starting to break down from a falling top. Now, we haven't broken this upward trend line yet, but I would be concerned if you're a holder of gold or gold mining stocks. If we start to break down through that upward trend line, then get defensive with that sector. It hasn't happened yet. The momentum is still up, and in the long term still positive, but I always like to give you something to watch for. Since I do these videos once a week, as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll keep you updated on all of these different assets. Moving along to oil, there you can see the parabolic rise that oil is in. I don't like to chase parabolic rides. I would not want to be a buyer of oil here. Instead, perhaps wait for a pullback and a break of a pullback. But you can't argue with the strength. It is what it is. And if you are in this market, if you're in the oil market, it looks positive and remain on the long side. Moving along, let's take a look at the currencies now. UUP, you saw a little bit of a run to the US dollar the last little while in anticipation of the breakout of war in Iran. And it's still strong in the very short term, but longer term, it's pretty much a neutral currency. Where we do see a lot of weakness long term is in Bitcoin, but it has started to stabilize. So we are in a downward trend. We've stabilized over the last 4 weeks, let's say. We are still in the downward trend, however. So as much as I'm encouraged to say that we're stabilizing, we haven't broken the downward trend line. We haven't started to make rising bottoms. And so it is not yet a market to be bought and one to watch perhaps, but I would be still quite defensive on Bitcoin. Now the last chart we're going to look at is TLT. This is the bond market chart. And it had a good little run higher in February, but we had some economic numbers that came out this past week which indicate maybe the Fed shouldn't be lowering interest rates, some signs of inflation, that sort of thing. So we saw the bond market move lower, which means interest rates in the bond market moving higher. A lot of investors have been hoping for a drop in interest rates in the US. It hasn't been happening. That's one of the reasons why the US dollar has been strong this past week, is because it is expected by investors that interest rates in the US will remain a little higher than perhaps other parts of the world. And so money wants to stay in the US bond market. So my ratings then, bearish on all time frames in the short term for US large cap, NASDAQ, and small cap, but neutral in the long term. And that is a downgrade from where we've been. Canadian stocks now downgraded to neutral on both time frames. Gold, short-term neutral, long-term bullish. Oil, bullish on both time frames, but I would say quite risky given the big gains that oil has made. US dollar, short-term bullish, long-term neutral. Bitcoin, I've raised my short-term rating from bearish to neutral, but still long-term bearish. And then bonds, neutral on both time frames. All right, let's get into this week's trade of the week. This is an example of a stock we traded in my active live service where you can monitor my analysis screen throughout the trading day, looking through the entire US stock market for stocks that meet our criteria. One of the main things I look for is abnormal activity, and we get computers to do most of the work for us, looking through every stock that trades in the US for stocks that suddenly come alive with abnormal price and abnormal volume activity. And this was one from, I believe it was Wednesday. It was a trader many days last week, but this particular trade was Wednesday. And it built a predictive pattern here. And we don't often talk about patterns in these videos. Certainly there is your action candles, the key signal that we look for. But we want action candles that come from predictive patterns. So this pattern right here is something called an ascending triangle. It's a sign of optimism and confidence building. So you have a lot of volatility here over about an hour, and then volatility starts to compress until this point when there's not a lot of price volatility. And because we have rising bottoms on the chart, we have optimism. So when you have optimism with confidence, with low volatility, and then you break from that with abnormal activity, the stock can often go for a very quick run. So for a day trader, to buy the stock at 3.35 roughly, and just a few minutes later, it's over $4. That obviously makes for a good day trade for those that know how to take advantage of such things. If you want to learn more about that, remember, go to the Stockscores website. We've got those free classes coming up in April. It's a little ways away now, but you can register now. Everyone that registers and attends will also get a free electronic copy of my book, The Mindless Investor. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button. What do you think? Is oil going to continue higher, or are we going to see it pull back next week? Love to hear your thoughts. As always, hope you enjoyed this. Trade well, and see you next week.